Hello, I am R. Kishore Khanna, Assistant Professor, Department of Biomedical Engineering, School of Bioengineering from Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. In this video, I am here to give lecture on Artificial Neural Network, which has been termed to be ANN from the course name called Neural Networks and Pattern Recognition. Artificial neural network is a neural network which is being constructed and designed artificially as a replacement or a external support when biological neural network is being facing any defects or failure. ANN is being used to perform the function of neural network artificially. So it is being termed as artificial neural network. Artificial neural network is a trained network which will be connected with multiple components, which will be dealing with weights, and it is being connected and interconnected for the transmission of information data as well as response through the neuron. So artificial neural network is a trained algorithm programmed network which is being designed and developed for act as a replacement for biological neural network when it is being needed. In this video, we are going to see about the working uses and architecture of artificial neural network, perceptron, algorithm, and what are the application of artificial neural network and both advantage as well as disadvantage of artificial neural network. So this is the outline what we are going to see in this video. Okay, artificial neural network is being termed as ANN. ANN stands for artificial neural network, and it is an information processing paradigm inspired by human nervous system. The function of human from the function of human nervous system only, artificial neural network is being made as a processing paradigm, and it ANN is being composed of large number of highly interconnected processing elements called neurons. So I already told artificial neural network is a large networkal design or a structure which will be having multiple processing units or multiple processing elements called neurons, which will be connected as well as interconnected with each other. Ability to learn from experience in order to improve the performance. Artificial neural network has its ability, as its design to learn from the experience. From that experience, it will be make some improvements for the quick or fast processing of the data. Similar to BNN, biological system, artificial neural network also involves in synaptic connection between neurons. So ANN is a replica of BNN, which is known as biological neural network. As the biological neural network has the connectivity of a network through the synaptic connection between neurons, same like that, artificial neural network also is being constructed as a neural network which is being connected and interconnected by large amount of or large number of processing elements called neurons through the synaptic connection. So this is the introduction of ANN called artificial neural network. Artificial neural network knowledge acquisition under noise and uncertainty, they are saying. It has the ability to acquire the input data with some error rates or with some disturbance as well as noise. Okay, whatever the input is being occurring, it has the ability to acquire for the processing, and it has the ability to derive meaning from complicated or impressive data. When data is not filled with content, it has the ability to derive the content from the acquired data. And ANN extract patterns and detect trends that are too complex, very hard to process or very hard to notice also can be detected by using the artificial neural network by either humans or other computer techniques also can fail for retrieving the data through some extant patterns. So artificial neural network has a special feature to extract or detect trends that are being considered as a too complex or too hard by other techniques or other networks. Adaptive learning and fault tolerance are the properties of artificial neural network, why it is being widely used in larger applications. Flexible knowledge representation makes the artificial neural network to be more efficient, more reliable, and more accurate. Efficient knowledge processing is being the property of artificial neural network, why it is being considered as the fast processing technique. Artificial neural network is being termed to be a fast processing technique where the information is being transmitted through the neurons and the response is being received through the neurons in short time period. So these are the uses of artificial neural network which is being artificially constructed for the human support of biological neural network. And this is the architecture of neural network. And this structure represents the feed forward neural network. That means feed forward means it doesn't as a dual pathway. It doesn't have consideration on the output. It doesn't consider about the response of the output. Only thing of feed forward neural network is to produce the output. From this black dots has been considered as the input layer, and it is being given to the hidden layer. Hidden layer or weights are the hidden layers or the weights are the processing unit where the given acquired input will be processed, and through the neurons it will be exhibited to produce the output. After the decision making of the neurons, it will be producing the output. So this is known as feed forward neural network. Input will be given and it will be processed and the output will be produced. This neural network is the one of the simplest of artificial neural network where the data of the input travels in only in one direction. When the data travels in one direction, it is known as feed forward neural network. When data travels in multiple direction or a backward as well as forward as well as backward, it is being considered as the feed backward neural network. The data passes through the input nodes and exits to the output nodes. Through the input nodes, data will be acquired and processed, and output will be produced through the output nodes. This is the simplest structure of artificial neural network, which is being shown as feed forward neural network. That means it travels data travels for the processing only in only one direction. And this is the radial basis function of neural network, how the output of a neural network will be aligned, how it is being classified as a radial basis is being shown as an example. And next one is architecture of neural network. Architecture of neural network is being placed according to the input vectors as well as the processing unit of neurons as well as the training data or training session which is being given to the structure, how the artificial neural network is being built and constructed and how it is being trained to produce the output. And it also has the ability to compromise with multi one or two or more multi-dimensional to process the given input and produce the output. Basically, covalent self-organizing neural network is used to locate the architecture of neural network, and it is being used for coherent map, which is known as K-map, where the input vectors have some dimension with the discrete map composed of neurons. Okay, in this K-map, activity of neurons is being plotted according to the trained or training set of neurons, where the training data will be organized with the given input data and it has multiple dimension to be plotted. This is known as coherent map. We will be terming it as a K-map. By through this neural networking or a self-organizing neural network only, architecture of neural network is being built and designed and constructed to serve as a artificial neural network replacement. And this is known as recurrent neural network. A single word will be given as an input to a model. That model will be constructed with some neural network, and that model will be processing that given input word as an input. it will be processing according to the memory where it has been loading its processing element, which has been already fed to the neural network, and it will be um, trained properly for detecting, diagnosing, and processing. And the network works on the principle of saving the output of a layer and feedbacking this back to the input to help the predicting the outcome of the layer. That means after the recurrent neural network process the given input data by the from the memory interface where it will be storing the already influenced predicted words, it will be processing, and processed data will be declared as output, and most likely next word will be considered as output. This is known as recurrent neural model, and this also is a type of architecture of neural network where the artificial neural network is being built with this thing. Next one is topic is called perceptron, the most basic form of activation function where it has two possible results. One can be 0 or other can be 1. If a function returns to be 0, input is positive or 0. If output is 0, it input will be negative. When the function output is being 1, input will be positive. When function's output is 0, input will be negative. Like this, perceptron of the neurons or percentile of artificial neural network will be determined. A neuron whose activation function is called as perceptron. Neurons will be processing and it will be producing the output. That output is positive means input will be 1. That output is negative means input will be 0. Sorry, output is being positive means input will be 1, and output is 0 means input will be negative. This is known as Heaviside step function, and this is used for activation function of neuron. This process is called perceptron. Why it is being activated means it is used to construct as a structure or a network for processing unit of neurons, as for transmitting the data, as well as the responding as a feedback network. Working of neural network. Working of neural network is being composed with help of three layers: input, hidden layer, output layer. Input layer will be composed of weights. Output layer will be composed of sum and bias, and hidden layer will be composed with sum and bias, and output layer will be composed of activation function. Input layer will be having inputs, which is considered as a weight, where it will be acquiring the given input as a weight, and it will be segmenting as a separate weight according to the data or input acquired. After it has been acquiring the data, it will be given to the hidden layer. Hidden layer will be considered as a processing layer. This processing unit has the ability to process the given input bits. That means processing means summing, biasing, multiplication. What are the process which has the ability to be processed to produce the output that will be taken care by the hidden layer. So hidden layer is otherwise known as processing layer, and processing will be termed as a summing up or sum and biasing up. And after the data is being processed in the hidden layer, it will be given to the output layer, where the output of the neurons it to be produced. Before the output is being produced, it will be initiating with activating function. Activation function will be proceeded with the process called perceptron, where the input is uh, input is positive, it will output will be 1. Input is negative, output will be 0. So by this manner, activation function of neurons will be proceeded as the output. When the activation function is being initiated only, connectivity of neurons in neural network will be enabled, and the response will be traveling from one point to another point through the interconnected neurons. This is known as working of neural network. And these are the algorithms which has been existing in neural network. First one is supervised learning, second one is unsupervised learning, and third one is reinforced learning. Supervised learning will be considered as a, considered as a learning methodology where components inside the neural network will be adjusted or corrected according to the output produced by that network. Components of the neural network will be adjusted or corrected according to the data produced by the output is known as supervised learning. Unsupervised learning means there will be correction, there will be changes happening in the output according to the properties of the components in that network. Output will be adjusted according to the components of the network, that is known as unsupervised learning. Components is being adjusted according to the output means supervised. Output is being adjusted according to the components means unsupervised. Reinforced learning means it is otherwise known as hybrid learning. Combination of supervised as well as unsupervised learning rule is known as reinforced learning. We will be otherwise it will be calling it as hybrid learning. So these are the algorithm is used for neural network for training and learning process. So now we are going to see about supervised learning technique. Supervised learning is a learning which we teach or train the machine using the data. While using a data or set of data, we will be teaching or training the network to be processed, which is well labeled. That means some data has been already tagged with correct answer. Answers with correctness or correct answer will be feeded as a learning rule, and that rule will be trained with data. That is known as supervised learning. After the mission is being provided with new set of data or example, so the supervised learning algorithm analyzes the training data, set of training example, produces a correct outcome from labeled data. Initially, we will be training or we will be taking set of sequence of data which is correct answer without any error. We will be collecting sequence and we will be teaching or training that data is known as supervised learning. Once we are trained, new set of samples will be given for the network, and that new set of samples will be acquired and it will be processed and it will be compared with our trained data. When it is being compared with the trained data, it will be producing the output which will be as considered as a correct outcome from the labeled data. This is known as supervised learning. These are the process happening inside the supervised learning algorithm. Initially, we will be training with correct data. Once we have been trained, it will be comparing the new data with the trained data, and the correct outcome will be produced by a network is known as supervised learning for the missions. And next algorithm is unsupervised learning. As before I say, according to the output component will be aligned is known as unsupervised learning. Here in unsupervised learning, training of a network or a mission using the information that is neither classified or nor labeled or allowing the algorithm to act on the information without guidance. In supervised, correct data will be given for the training of the mission. In unsupervised, unknown data. We doesn't know it is correct or it is wrong or it is being labeled. Random data will be taken as information or algorithm, and it will be used for the training of that mission or a network. Here the task of a mission is to group unsorted information according to the similarities, patterns and difference without any prior training of the data. When unknown data or unknown information is being given to the unsupervised learning mission, means that mission's task is to analyze, classify, and retrieve the information of that unknown data from the trained samples is known as unsupervised learning. So this is the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning. Known data will be used for training the mission is known as supervised. Unknown data will be given for the training to acquire or analyze or retrieve the information of unknown data sequence is known as unsupervised learning. And next one is reinforcement learning, which is known as a type of dynamic programming. By using a system, reward and punishment will be provided to the mission. That is known as reinforcement training or reinforcement learning. A reinforcement learning algorithm or agent learning by interacting with the environment. Reinforcement learning methodology is a method where it will be accessing, it will be interacting with the mission's environment, with mission's connectivity and interconnectivity, and it will be learning according to the changes happening in that mission. The agent receives the rewards by performing correctly, penalties for performing incorrectly. After learning the changes, it will be processing its algorithm. When the output is being produced correctly, that agent which has been performing the process will be given reward. If the output has been produced with error means after the changes, reading the changes, the output has been produced with error means it will be given penalties for performing incorrectly. The agent learns without intervention from the human by maximizing its rewards and minimizing its penalties. So by doing the errors, penalties will be provided. By doing the performing the task correctly, rewards will be provided. By the rewards and the penalties, the agent will be trying to learn by itself. A self-constructed learning algorithm rule is known as reinforced learning without any human support or external support. Learning algorithm is being framed by rewards and penalties is known as reinforcement learning. So these are the three learning algorithms existing in neural network: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforced learning. According to the needs and demands of the construction of the neural network, this learning rule is being adapted for the designing of neural network or designing of artificial neural network. Now we are going to see about the application of neural network, where it is being used. Mostly artificial neural network is being widely used in all sectors. All sectors and domains uses the artificial neural network as well as the pattern recognition application widely. Why? Because it has the efficiency to produce the output in short time period for its fast processing and for its reliability and for its fault tolerance and for its correction and adaptability. For these four main points, artificial neural network and pattern recognition, which is the branch of artificial neural network from the artificial intelligence, is being widely used in all domains. And now we are going to see about the application of neural network. Application of neural network is being widely used in pattern recognition, where and all identification, recognition, detection, classification is being molded in a design or molded in a construction of network or is being induced in a system. Pattern recognition uses the neural network. And in medical field, for all medical imaging techniques, for all biosignal processing techniques, neural network is being used to predict the signal produced or image developed or image captured is correct or it's having any fault will be detected by using the artificial neural network or neural network. And feedback network or processing system or monitoring system which has the ability to control the process is known as control system and monitoring. The process of a block or process of a working components which as a control system or a controlling unit will be using the neural network to control the processing according to the input and targeted output. Artificial neural network application is being widely used for building the control system. Why? Because it has the ability to control the processing and it has the adaptability to change according to the changes happening in input as well as in output. And it has been used in forecasting like sales network. It has been widely used market research and meteorology. For meteorology, it has been widely used for mapping, for capturing the image with the large data analysis, for prediction and all. It has been widely used. Neural network has been widely used. And marketing and financial applications with the prediction, with the ups and downs, like share marketing, or betting, or financial ups and downs, stock marketing, share marketing is been completely depends upon the prediction, which and all, which sector and all working according to the prediction uses the neural network for its applications. And it is widely used in robotics, for biorobotics, for nanorobotics, and for uh, human robots, which acts as a caretaker for supporting the human human community. So human robotics is a branch which is being completely under the control of artificial intelligence, where it uses the neural network for composing its network for the processing unit. So for robotics, it is being widely used, and it acts as a main part or a vital part for building a robots. And facial animation and event prediction are the advancement and new domain where the application of neural network has been widely used and effectively used. And for signal filtering, a signal which is acquired from human body is known as biosignal, or a signal which is being transmitted, a data of sequence which is being transmitted from one point to another point is known as signal. While the transmission of data sequence from one point to another point, we have to go for multiple processing units. When the multiple processing units is being going, signal is being going through multiple processing units, it has the ability to add up with some error rates called noise. When the noise is being added by using filter processing, noise will be removed. For signal filtering processing, neural network is being used. Whether the signal has been containing noise, or it doesn't contain, it is pure, will be detected by the neural network. So application of neural network has been widely used in signal filtering process, in where and all signal is being transmitted or communicated from one point to another point. Signal filtering is being used. Signal filtering is being developed by the application of neural network. And adaptive control of module according to the instruction proceed by the computer or robot or a user manually is known as adaptive control. So the control which is being acts according to the commands is being modified and developed by the application of neural network. So these are the applications where the neural network acts as a vital part and being used effectively according to the need and demands of the user. And advantage. Now we are going to see about the advantage of the artificial neural network. A neural network that can perform a task that a linear program cannot. A normal linear program cannot perform a task, but neural network can perform a task. When you give the input, you will be getting the output after the processing. When an element of a neural network fails, it can continue without any problem by the parallel nature. If a single processing element is being getting failed, means it has the ability to adapt to the condition, and the output will be produced without any delay. A neural network learns and does not need any reprogramming. It doesn't need multiple training or multiple programming. It has the ability to learn from the changes occurring in the inside the network or external in the network, external part of the network. It can be implemented in any application according to the need and demands of any application. Neural network can be adapted and utilized properly to produce a effective system or a design or a module. And they can perform associate memory, like the memory which works in human brain, which will be considered as a main memory. And it also opposed to be addressable memory, which can work like a computer memory, which is not erasable, which will be storing content which are being processed by the computer or which are being processed by the network will be stored like a classical computer memory. It will be working. They do not require any knowledge of algorithm for solving the problem. It has the ability to learn according to the change, so it doesn't need any external algorithm or a changed training algorithm for solving the different kind of set of problems. And disadvantage, these are the disadvantages being listed for artificial neural network. Neural network needs training to operate. Initially we have, after building the network, we have to train them properly. Why? Because according to the effect of training only, efficiency of a neural network will be judged for the processing unit. Architecture of neural network is different from the architecture of microprocessor, therefore needs to be emulated. Neural network architecture has been different, and architecture of microprocessor has been different. But similar thing is, neural network is quite complex to construct. Microprocessor architecture is quite easy to construct. Requires high processing time for large neural network. When a large amount of neural network or large amount of components is being connected and interconnected together to form a large neural network, it requires high processing time, and it has the ability to process and produce the output within certain time, but it needs high processing time for the processing purpose. And there are many parameters to set in neural network, and optimizing the network can be challenging, and especially to avoid overtraining. Overtraining will be avoided. So challenges which is being given to the neural network needs some time to optimize according to the network. So this will be considered as a disadvantage, which may take time delay for optimizing and requires high processing time for large neural network. These are the neural network disadvantages. And modeling and diagnosing of the cardiovascular system has been completely done by the neural network only. Diagnosis, monitoring, regulating of heart or cardiac health condition of a human body is being completely constructed by using this ANN only. And conclusion, a neural network can be successfully used in the project, and given that we can access enough training data to construct efficient neural network. Since we need it to be highly accurate, and we need to carefully gather the contextual variable that closely recognize the diagnosis in heart murmur and it various grades. So this is the effective use of artificial neural network in biomedical domain. And thank you for this opportunity to share about the neural network and its working and its application. Thank you.